much better formation this time as they roll up to take the green flag and race to the first race of the day here on the program at Queensland Raceways away. And Andrew Miedeke has got the jump here over Stephen Johnson as we go into turn one. Keith Kasulki on the outside there with Eddie Abel-Nisa as they jostle for positions here at the first couple of corners. Some of the Trans Am cars further back in the field. Good to see Michael Ubergang back in the field after having a drama-packed race yesterday, but everybody safely through the first couple of turns.
Everyone's safe through this morning. The track's nice and cold, the air temp's cold, so trying to get some tyre temp early is very difficult in these cars. It was Andrew Miedeke that got the jump outside of on the outside of the front row, and it was John Bower that tried to follow Stephen Johnson through. That's a big accident.
And that's Cameron Tilley, who's got in the back of Keith Kasulki, and that's big damage to the Falcon. It just exploded down there, and that is significant damage.
Greg Crick was involved in that there somewhere as well. I saw the front of his car quite badly damaged, so unless they can move that Falcon, there's a good chance they'll have that safety car out here soon, which is a bit of a pity for this race this morning. But we can see there's a couple of cars involved in that. Stephen Johnson now is closing in on the back of Andrew Miedeke. So whilst Andrew got that good start, Stephen's pace is going to be strong. He's going to be the man to beat in this one, and he's going to try and drag John Bower through with him. But there's the safety car board. We knew that was going to come out, and it was unfortunate to see damage to those three cars.
Wow. It just exploded down there in turn three. The safety car's been caught napping here. He's going to come down to about fifth position. So three cars caught up down there. Cameron Tilley, after a great effort yesterday to collect his 10th top 10 result of the season, right in the back of Keith Kasulki. Look at the damage even to Tilley's car right of screen here. The Lexus safety car is out, and oh no, look at the front end of Greg Crick's car. Wow.
It's good to see Greg moving in the car. There's Keith's Falcon. Obviously there's a lot of damage to the front and the back of that car, so hopefully we get a replay of that to see exactly what happened. We saw there that obviously down to turn three, one of those hard braking areas, particularly on these cold tyres. You know, there's cars going everywhere. You're 2 and 3 wide in some cases, and you arrive down that braking area. There's a lot of bumps, and it's easy to lock a tyre and out-brake yourself and end up in a bit of a problem. End up with the fact that there is nowhere to go. And when we have a look at the replay, I'm sure we'll be able to see what exactly happened there.
Front and rear damage to Keith Kasulki's car. He scored his first ever pole position in NZ Touring Car Masters at this track a couple of years back. And Cameron Tilley's good luck of top 10 results is going to come to an end here today, down here in turn three. So field slows up behind the back of the Lexus safety car, and these laps will all count. So here's a replay of the start, and Miedeke got the jump. It's a perfect formation to the green flag. Abel-Nisa pulled out back there in the third row. Miedeke did well here to get the line through because he was on the outside, wasn't he? Yeah,
certainly. I mean, if Stephen Johnson had argued the point there, it would have been a lot tougher, but clearly Andrew Miedeke got a bit of a jump and was able to control the turn in onto turn one. Stephen Johnson, look
right here.
See that lock up, and obviously we can't see exactly what's going on behind us there from the shot from Jason Gromsel's car, but clearly here's a bit of a replay of it here. There's Tilley, he's locked up and out of control down the grass. Now this is always going to go very ugly. At this point you know that you're in trouble, and bang!
Oh, and poor Keith Kasulki would never have seen that coming.
So that's obviously happened from a long way back, but you know, clearly as you can see here, down the inside, here comes the Valiant, and crash! And poor Keith Kasulki, Greg Crick, both innocent bystanders in that one, and we're very lucky that no one was injured and they're all okay.
The damage is bad enough, isn't it? When you look at it from that point of view, three cars that are going to be licking their wounds.
Close to the action, they can get there very quickly and ensure that the drivers are safe. Greg Crick, we saw him out of the car walking. We also saw Cameron Tilley out of the car walking around. So good to see those drivers are all okay. No injuries to those guys. So they'll fight on. Bit of bent metal, unfortunately. And there's the front of Greg Crick's Valiant Charger.
That's a lot of damage to Kasulki's car, though, isn't it?
It's a lot of damage to Kasulki's car. There's a lot of effort goes into building these cars as well. So that'll be a big repair to be able to cut that car up and try and repair it and get it fixed again. There's Tilley there. Problem than just a lock brake. So to be able to get down to turn three, and unfortunately you're faced with a wall of cars. You're just not sure. Once you hit the grass, you're a passenger from there. And unfortunately, what was happening in that situation, there's no way he was going to stop in terms of. So he's certainly got some work to do now, Stephen Johnson, hasn't he? Yesterday, we saw him open up a bit of a gap, but then the pace dropped back a bit. Andrew Medecky and John Bowe actually were starting to close in on Stephen Johnson. So whilst it had very good early pace, towards the end of the race, Andrew Medecky's car was very fast. So now they've had this opportunity to get the tyre temper up, the shocks, the brakes. Everything's now up to a racing temperature. It'll be interesting to see whether Andrew Medecky can hang on here. Stephen Johnson certainly a 15.9 in qualifying. He had the pace, didn't he? He was fast. Yeah. He was electric. And there's that Keith Kasulpi's beautiful Falcon. I mean, it's sad to see a car in that condition. Obviously, a lot of work to do to repair that car and get it back to being race ready for the next couple of rounds of Touring Car Masters. Again, you can see there Cameron Tilley's locked that right front, and just a passenger from here. The car's not going to stop on the grass. And then bang into the front, unfortunately, of Keith Kasulpi's car. Greg Crick nowhere to go. And unfortunately, those two guys are just bystanders in this one.
Do you think he saw the smoke ahead and maybe panicked, got on the brakes there just in case it was happening in front?
Oh, look, we talked about earlier, with these Hoosiers and the track temp, it's very, it's a lot of damage, isn't it, to those cars? The track temp's very low. The air temp's very low this morning. You only get one lap, so it could be a case of just cold tyres. You know, the front right locking up. And obviously Cameron Tilley has got no control once you hit the grass there. But
left the screen. Just incredibly speedy, carried into the corner, wasn't it?
With a bit of a jump there, he's opened a little gap. He got a good run off turn 6. So that's going to give him a little bit of a breathing space from Stephen Johnson. But Stephen Johnson's got the pace. That Mustang Sally's going to be fast in these opening laps.
4 laps under safety car, and now we have a 7-lap screamer on our hands. We get back underway. Race 2 of the weekend. So Medecky just got the jump fractionally there. Johnson back to second, Bowe third. And it's Glenn Seaton, Eddie Abel-Nisa, Jim Richards, Jason Gomersall.
Straight away, Andrew Medecky looks to protect the line. What you can see is Stephen Johnson's car. He's got that little lock up. He's gone deep. He's trying to go around the outside. Andrew Medecky's going to run him a little wide here. And then be able to protect the run into turn 4. What you can see is Stephen Johnson's car's turning very well. It's tight. It's getting into the apex of the corner and holding line, where Andrew Medecky's car's running wide. So that's going to be the difference and allow Stephen Johnson to get the car rotated and get a good run, particularly off turn 2. That's where his best spot is, down into turn 3.
Through they come, much closer than what we saw yesterday. Jason Gomersall, the last car in this freight train. There's Tony Karafilovsky and Charlie O'Brien doing a great job inside the top 10. One of the local Trans Am cars that we've got in the field this weekend.
There's John Bowe sitting there, Glenn Seaton. You've got Medecky, Johnson, Bowe, Seaton, Richards. They're all at the front of this field, all battling away for this race win today, because after those battles we had yesterday with that safety car, it's now brought them all together. This is going to be an epic battle for the podium.
Medecky, 2 race wins so far this year. They both come at Adelaide. Doing a fine job out here at the moment, but the field just starting to compress behind him. John Bowe in 3rd position, and Glenn Seaton on the back of him. There's Eddie Abel-Nisa, the Brisbane's cheapest cars Falcon.
Jason Gomersall's Tirana at the back there. We saw that being very quick throughout practice. Andrew Medecky now locks up. So the pressure's on. He's making those little mistakes. It's going to give Stephen Johnson an opportunity now to turn that K. Albanese runs a little bit wide.
So they're one even now when it comes to brake lock-ups.
And now it's a drag race up to turn 4. They're side by side at the moment. Stephen Johnson on the wrong side of the road. He's now going to have to try and cut back, but John Bowe's going to be in there somewhere. There he is.
Here he is.
Oh, don't scratch him.
It's a little mark on the door of Mustang Sally.
Now Glenn Seaton's got through.
This is great stuff. So Seaton gets up ahead now of John Bowe.
Stephen Johnson now having a look down the inside. He's got an opportunity. He's got a bit of dirt. Side by side, there's that door mark when John Bowe had contact. So they're racing hard. They're not mucking around, these boys.
Watch for Seaton here while these guys are arguing over position 1 and 2. Medecky looks for a pass down the inside. Oh, they're going to go... Oh! Seriously! They know it's a time certain finish. You can see bottom of the screen here, 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go, so at least 2 laps remaining. They plough on through. Watch Seaton just getting closer and closer here. The Thunder Road Racing Australia entry.
And he's not really opened up much of a gap. Andrew Medecky's coming back at him now, so the pressure's on Stephen Johnson to hold this line. Andrew Medecky's going to try and find a way that he can get through. That car's got good power down and good acceleration. Glenn Seaton sitting there in 3rd now with John Bowe, and there's a little bit of smoke coming off the front of John Bowe's car after that contact with Stephen Johnson. So a little bit of pressure now in these last couple of laps. And there's that little bit of smoke we talked about. So that's from the contact. It's bent the guard onto the tyre a little. And hope that won't cut the tyre on John Bowers' Tirana.
Certainly livened up the race. John Bowers back on Glenn Seaton here. Johnson's got a little margin over Miedeke now. They come round to finish lap 7. 4-car battle for the lead. Abel Nisa is behind them as well.
Oh, pushing hard. John Bowers using everything that's available. Albanese, Jim Richards there, and Jason Gromisel. They're just bystanders. They're watching. They're trying to wait and see what's going to happen with these 4 cars in the front.
I hate seeing pretty cars getting damaged like that. But it happens. Rubbing's racing, as you say.
I'd like to be in the debrief when Stephen Johnson explains the bloke that hit him's the guy that owns it.
Yeah,
so
we should drop through afterwards and have a listen.
Yeah, exactly. But there's Andrew Miedeke now. He's got about 3 car lengths back behind. He's going to have to brake quite late here. As we saw before, the balance in that braking's not quite right for Andrew Miedeke. He made that mistake, made that little lock-up, and that gave Stephen Johnson the chance. It gave him a sniff. They then started side-by-side racing, which slowed the 2 of them down. There's a lot of time where you're actually off the brake pedal and off the accelerator of this circuit. You've got to let the tyre do the work. John Bowers now looking for a bit of a later line, later apex, and try and get a good drive onto the front straight to see if he can find a way through Glenn Seaton.
Well, Seaton's had 3 third-place finishes. They all came at Winton this year. It'd be great if he could get past Miedeke. Lap 9, as we head to a time-certain finish here in race 2 of the NZ Touring Car Masters. Round 5 of this year's championship. And Johnson just starting to get away now. Gap's almost a second back to Miedeke. Down they come this back straight. Fastest point of the course.
And John Bowers still pushing hard there. You can see he wants a way through. And Stephen Johnson, as you say, has opened up that little gap. It's taken the pressure off. But this is where JB is going to have to try and dig deep. He's going to find a way through and see if he can get himself back on that podium. You can see that tyre rubbing. That was from that contact earlier. And under brakes, when they load the front suspension, it's pushing that tyre up into the guard and making that problem worse.
So the focus will be on 2nd, 3rd and 4th now as Johnson just eases away across the top of our Dunlop curb cam and the run down to turn 6.
As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, time is up. We're at 0. This is going to be the last lap now. As they come onto the front straight, we expect the checkered flag to be out. So John Bowers going to have to go the long way. He's going to try and go around the outside. That'll give him a better run onto the straight. But can he get up the inside and find a way through?
Through they come.
So this is the last lap now. So they've just announced the last lap board. So they're going to allow them the opportunity to have one final crack at this. So John Bowers, he's only got 5 more corners to find a way through.
Glenn Seaton would want to tip the mirrors down. He's done this all before. He's had John Bowers many a time, either in front or behind. They work the final lap of this race. We're going to go 2 laps short due to that safety car period on lap 1.
This battle for these guys is like wearing a pair of old jeans, isn't it, that you've known forever? You know what the bloke's going to do. You know how he races. You know the way he thinks. They've done this for years. They've battled away in V8 supercars against each other, in Group A touring cars against each other. And now here they are fighting away in Touring Car Masters. Ford versus Holden. Great battle.
All 4 of these guys raced in the first Queensland 500 back in '99 as co-drivers or lead drivers at that event. And Steve Johnson looks likely to wrap this one up. John Bowers hasn't finished with Glenn Seaton yet. This is a carbon copy of the lap previously.
That is a long way to go around, but you can do it. If you can find the grip, you can stay on the outside. No, he's not going to get there. Glenn Seaton's covered the line.
He's trying to switch back. Not going to be able to do it. This guy's going to do it, though. 2 in a row this weekend at Queensland Raceway. Goes to Stephen Johnson, a flash of the headlights. Well done to him, Andrew Miedeke.